So when I was younger, I was doing junior achievement, and I was the CEO, just like you, of my student company. So I want you to raise your hand if you know that you will be successful. So I will tell you, when I was your age, I probably wouldn't have raised my hand. Junior achievement was my first time being a leader. And I will tell you that to believe that you will be successful is the first step and a necessary first step to actually being successful. So I'm very, very happy that so many of you raised your hand.
Me encanta que
Would you have raised your hand when you were their age? Would you have raised your hand? So it was founded in 1919, almost 100 years ago next year. When young men were coming back from the war, they didn't have training for jobs. So Junior Achievement helped teach them how to be entrepreneurs and teach them how to get ready for the job market. And it worked so well, they brought it into schools, and then it started to spread around the world. So we, as you saw, we operate all over the world, and now we reach kids, we reach young people who are younger than you and older than you. And one reason why we now reach kids who are older than you is we realize that our alumni network, so all of you are part of a global network of 100 million plus living alumni. And many of these alums end up becoming prominent business leaders. So my hope and my dream for all of you is that you achieve the success that you deserve and that you stay in touch with the organization and become like the role models in this room. Big mistake somebody made. So after my last company, I went to the funeral of my friend's father, and he was the founder of a school, and all the students from the school came up and said how important the school was and the man who died was. And so I thought, do I want to do another investment company or another internet company? And I said, I think I want to do something in education. So, and Junior Achievement was looking for a new CEO. It worked out. So I started a company as an entrepreneur when I was 27, and it was an internet company. And we allowed people to loan money to each other on the internet. Our goal was to put all the banks in the world out of business. We didn't achieve our goal, but we got rich anyway.
Pero ganamos mucha plata también.
So I think one of the most important things to think about when you're creating a company is that you love what the company does. Profits and the money and the employees will come if you have passion for the thing that you're building. So when I started the company, I really wanted the product to be, this is going to get complicated, to allow any individual in the world to invest in another individual in the world. So today in the world, you can invest in somebody's business, but that business might fail. Imagine a world where you don't invest in somebody's business, you invest in the person no matter what business they run. But we don't know if their first business will be successful. So I wanted to do something very simple, which is allowing people to invest in other people. But I found that nobody else wanted to buy that product. It was a good idea in theory. In practice, people didn't want to do that
Pero en la práctica, la gente todavía no estaba preparada para hacerlo.
So I changed the product, because I was so passionate, to allow people to make loans to other people. And I found that people give loans to other people to start businesses, to buy homes,
Para comprarse el hogar,
to get out of emergency debt, and for education. So my point is that the passion for the business kept me going despite the first thing not working. After that company, I took 1 year of break because I wasn't allowed to work in finance, because that's what happens. It's called a non-compete agreement. So I learned about other types of businesses that I found interesting. So then I found another opportunity to allow, on the internet, any individual to be able to invest in another individual's investment fund. And we built that business. It was called Covestor. Our idea was that anyone in the world can be a more successful investor than professional investors. It's like the American Idol or Pop Idol or Argentinian Idol of investing. So we did it. We had people from all over the world, 100 countries, try to be a top investor. And we found that only very few of them were better than the professionals. So we kept the 100 top ones, and we allowed them to get money from all the investors all over the world. And then the company was acquired by a big public brokerage company called Interactive Brokers. In any company, one of the jobs of the CEO is to balance making sure everybody gets along with making sure things happen. It's often very difficult to do both.
Es muy difícil lograr ambas cosas.
Because inevitably, people don't get along with each other. And inevitably, one of the people who doesn't get along is so productive that it's hard to force them to get along with their peers. So one solution is to, on a periodic basis, make sure that all individuals hear from their peers how they're doing. And the job of the CEO is to make sure that top performer doesn't harm the culture of the organization. Yes, I studied in bachelor's, master's, and a PhD. But I think in the world of today, so all of you are going to have at least, on average, of 20 jobs in the course of your life. So,
Imagínense.
if you have 20 jobs, it means you will probably get fired 5 times. So you have to have the skills
Ustedes van a tener que
to
tener.
be able to get through being fired 5 times. So, it's not easy to get fired.
No es fácil que te echen, ¿no?
I know.
Lo sé.
And to have the confidence and the resilience to get through that period, having a university degree will help you. So there's a skill called empathy. Most people think that empathy is important for personal skills, not business skills. But I think that empathy is important for your sales skills and for your CEO skills. And when you are talking to that employee who's the high performer or the one who's the low performer but needs to get along, empathy is important to put yourself in their shoes. You know, one thing I would say is that to develop hobbies outside of work and school. The hobbies you have outside of work and school end up being how you develop the interests that make you want to start a business and how you develop social skills with other people. One more.
Y otra más.
I read a book when I was young. It was called The Magic of Thinking Big. And one of the things it says in the book is it takes just as much effort to do something small as it takes to add a 0 and another 0 and another 0 to do something big. And the only thing that's holding us back is our lack of confidence to add zeros. So I was born in India, and when I was in India, India was closed. It was a closed market, very poor.
Sumamente pobre.
My parents, my grandparents had no money. My father studied to be an engineer. And I'll tell you that no matter how bad the situation is for your country, you own your own destiny. In fact, the only way that Argentina can rise again is because of young CEOs like you. And honestly, it's not difficult. If every single one of you created 5 jobs, and if junior achievement, under the leadership of this bright woman, could reach 10% of all Argentinian young people, the whole country would change.